An initiative of the Greater Des Moines Partnership formed in 2007, the Business Innovation Zone, the BIZ, exists to connect entrepreneurial needs with qualified resources and to provide guided professional and business direction. The BIZ helps entrepreneurs maximize their successes by helping them navigate resources, strengthen knowledge, improve skills, form strategic alliances, and secure proper capitalization. To find out more about the BIZ, visit www.bizci.org.
So how we're going to do today, we're going to do kind of an interview today, and I'm going to start it off, talk a little bit about the subject, if you will, of the area, stay focused on the area, and discussion begins. Well, we want to talk about the growth business, the stock growth. Sheldon and his background has been some companies from both inception in a couple cases, past thousands of employees. I've experienced in similar spaces, it's challenging thing to do. So, as a background, Sheldon is the CEO of Polaris. He's not Polaris, co-founder. Outsourced technology, customer service, help desk. Started in 2003, which means he made it through the crash of the
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We're basically flat that year.
Yeah, well, that's pretty damn good to stay flat. That was a lot of things. Growth of over 800%, and growth from 1 to 3 to 400% in the first 4 years. They're growing still. Past president, CEO, critical communications, and I kind of stopped reading the bio at that point. You've done a lot of different things. So, welcome. Thank you for coming together. So, just to start off, one of the things that I saw with you, with U.S. long distance, you grew internal sales from 19 million a year to 200 million a year in 3 years. What kind of challenge is that growth percent? How do you handle whether maybe you tell us how you grew sales from 19 to 300 million and stuff all. Talk about the challenge of growing that fast.
So, I think the setup of that is well, let me thank you for having me. Thank you for taking your time, your busy time to come and listen to some ideas I might have. Hopefully you can use one or two, you can use all. And I really like it. Then the other comment is usually when I get asked to speak, I'm paying for lunch, so I really appreciate that.
You got to learn your lunch.
Yeah, we can travel somewhere, I'm buying lunch or something, so just happen to listen to sales pitch, so this is a little bit different than what I'm used to. On that deal, on the U.S. long distance deals, let me just go real quick with my background. You grew up here, went to Iowa, business degree a long time ago, graduated December of '79, so I'm 56, just to make it real clear. Ended up with AT&T right out of college in early 1980. And when people didn't realize AT&T back then, it wasn't the AT&T you're about now. That was before they broke up. So they had a yellow page division, they had a local phone division, they had a long distance division, they had the beginning, if you will, of a data division. And then they thought it was going to be in '83, it ended up being '84. That was the breakup, the divestiture of the phone industry. So I got in on the end of monopoly, and I got hired on management training for 26 weeks of corporate school over a year and a half. Never really lost to a competitor, these new competitors, and then went on the dark side. After about 2 years, realized, wow, one guy has 100%, one guy pays big commission if you get even one sale. So I went on the dark side, I went on the competitive side. That's what I did for 20 years leading up to Polaris. So 20 years done at telecom, last now 10 years help desk company. Okay. So kind of this is sort of the middle of U.S. long distance. I'd already done AT&T, I'd already done Honeywell. Honeywell took me to Des Moines. Salesman of the year, Northern California to Sunnyvale. I replaced an acquisition owner. I became sales manager of the year. I was like 24 years old. And then in St. Louis as a branch manager. Ultimately back to Iowa. Got married for the first time. With a little company about Teleconnect, was based in Cedar Rapids. That also was around 18 million. I don't get as much credit there, but I did make it to a vice president. I was in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and then New York City. When it was bought. And then I came back and then ended up in U.S. long distance after MCI bought us. So I think I'm in my low 30s at this point, and I get hired because of what I already done, right? There's a lot of times where I get hired somewhere. And they only had, for 18 million in revenue, it was a long distance company selling, they were just getting into long distance services. They mainly sold a product payphone companies, Zero Plus dialing. They had a hotel product, the Marriott, Intercontinental, some really big chains, Mandarin Oriental and the chain in San Francisco and other places, use their product for hotel dialing. They wanted to get into this long distance, which I had quite a bit of expertise in. And so they really only had what was the former vice president of sales. I got hired as vice president of sales. He was being named president. And one other person that were responsible for the $18 million in current revenue. They said, we want you to come in and build a sales staff. So after enough analyzing, so I'm not sure of the original questions, but I was just going to tell you about how to build that staff. Okay, I'll build those, say how to build that staff. So we looked at what we had, and we said, well, 2 people are really controlling a whole set of accounts. They're really, really big accounts. I mean, they're really $1 million type accounts. So really, that's not what this is about. This is about growing. So what we did was, we had about 7 or 8 cities. This was in San Antonio, Texas. So we decided to open an office in Austin, 60 miles from Austin, a real big town. Dallas, Houston. We didn't have a sales office really in San Antonio. We put one in Corpus Christi. I feel like we put one in San Waco, but somewhere like that. Maybe Temple, Texas. So we had 6 locations, and we put a manager in. We put 6 to 10 person sales staff, and we began to sell regular long distance. We had the Zero Plus, but had the switching equipment to do One Plus, to do 800 service, to do a calling card. And so that was one level. That I guess you would call business long distance. We then decided to go after, since we'd had experience with large accounts, we decided to put an additional sales staff in that went after resellers. People that would either put their name on a bill or our name, they could buy wholesale and then do their own customer service. Do their own customer service. So that became a different way of selling, a different channel. Then we said, gosh, we do pretty well with this kind of big account. Let's have a national account team. So we had 3 people around the country, and we weren't just tied to Texas. We were truly a nationwide capability, especially with Zero Plus or large accounts. So then we had a small national account team. We go, gosh, we had a carrier group at Teleconnect. Let's have a carrier. So we ended up putting in basically 4 ways of selling, 4 additional sales channels, 4 different, however you want to look at it. So we went from this 2 people working on some national accounts. So we had a baseline of business sales reps, going to businesses, making appointments. Then we had then a reseller channel. We had another national account channel. Then we put in a carrier channel. Manage them all different. They all have different incentives. They all have different salaries. They all have different goals. But I had that experience going into it. And honestly, we grew really fast. I mean, we grew from 18 million and about $250 million in 3.5 years.
So what was the hardest part of that?
That was really pretty easy. Well, we didn't. It wasn't a money problem.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times you'd say. I mean, some of you. I know some of you are not in the startup. Some of you are really established companies, professional services around the city and state. But for people that are just starting a business, it may be a different discussion we can have at some point here. Will be how do you bootstrap it? Because that was not an example of bootstrap. Now, the owner who our stock was $1, $2. When we hit $10. The CEO, which had actually, I didn't even know it, had actually been in prison for gambling. Yeah, that was nice to know. That was the largest gambling in his 20s. That was nice to know here. But it had been like 7 years or something since he's gotten out of prison, so it didn't have to be disclosed to me. Sure. But when it hit $10, he realized he might have had $10 million. He had 10 million shares. So he went crazy. He bought a red Ferrari. And the stock went down to 8, and they wanted to sell us Ferrari. So the key to forget about that backstory. The key to growth is you have to have the correct financial capabilities. I mean, you have to be. In that case, the hardest thing to me was: is this company, when they hired me, are they committed to wanting to do what they said? They're hiring me to do that. Do I have a budget? Do I be able to create a budget, get approved by the board of directors of budget? I'm only a vice president of sales. Am I going to have the capability, the money? To put a plan together to grow the company. And they loved everything we did. I mean, maybe not every day, every week, that's the way sales are, and that's the way companies grow. But certainly, went 3 steps up, or 1 step back.
But you did the question one thing kind of interesting to a lot of people. But I hope that people that are successful, they're able to question points. You went from the monolithic regulated AT&T to the break. I know for me, me, I joined the computer world in 1979. Punch cards that came out of PC in 4.5 years and went to college. It wasn't punching, but things are radically changed. I've been scared. They're interesting times.
I remember the punch card. That was like the only class I was taking computers. I think everybody here is crazy that back in the late 70s style. I spoke quite a bit at the University of Iowa when I spoke to someone to talk about being there in the Stone Age. I think a lot of 19 to 22-year-olds of the Sun too older than that. The Stone Age, actually.
But when those big changes happen, like what's happening right now in mobile space, that's what we're talking about. Tell me about Polaris. How did it come to be?
Yeah, so Polaris is a good story. It's kind of a sad story at the front end for me. So my life that had taken me to San Antonio, and then about 15 years in Colorado, so 4 years in Tampa, about 15 years in Colorado. And my mom died, and I had a brother who looked after my dad, who was a nurse when he died, suddenly at 49. When he died, I came back something like 16 straight weekends. And I had an older son, I got 3 younger kids at that time, I'm not so young anymore. But, it was like, gosh, you're going to leave your family. All you can do, instead of being with a doctor, they said he could live a year. He was early 80s, he could live 10 years. He was in a nursing home, that's the way it goes. And then everybody has a parent or great-parent or great-grandparent kind of story. So I decided I didn't want to come back on weekends. I wanted to come back during the week. So I sought out to try to find something to buy. I had the means to basically buy my way into a business. And it took a year and a half. And what we bought was a very distressed company. This company had like 15 pieces. We bought this single call center in Manning, Iowa, on 141 in Carroll County. It had a 10,000 square foot, had a warehouse. It wasn't very efficient layout by any, nothing was efficient about it. About 45, 50 desks, a bunch of offices. And it was part of something that had lost a lot of money. Having said that, the center was losing money, but it looked fixable to me and my partner overall. So we acquired it essentially 14th of December, coming up 10 years here, 4 weeks. The closing was December 31st at midnight or whatever, but we formed the company on December 14th, and that really became Polaris. And so we bought a company from a financial institution that was divesting itself of that asset. So that was so. What was that? So to me, the hardest part of telecom isn't buying switches and isn't having billing systems, and it really isn't sales to me. It's always been the customer service support. And you can argue, going back years ago, but telecom would answer the phone from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but not after 5 p.m. Right? And but the internet needed to be answered 24 hours a day. And then there was things like cable and satellite that what hours are they going to keep? And the old deal, years ago with TCI and Heritage, way before Mediacom was, answer the phone, but the service is going to be 5 days until they come out and see me. Well, we want to be out there video for a lot of days. So customer service is always the hard part. A lot of people will give people discounts in the telecom industry. That's why you have so many different names and so many different telephone bills, but they have to do their own support. And if you think you can do it better, then you can do it really well. I think you do it worse, you probably end up on the side. So we're basically an outsourced, help desk, mainly for telecom companies. We have about 50 telecom companies where we do their customer support or technical support or non-support. We also have multiple Japanese electronic firms. One of our growth areas is IT. We do IT service desk, IT help desk for corporations, not for individuals just to call in. That'd be too broad. But if a big insurance company, we have a couple here in town, but if a big insurance company wanted to outsource that IT help desk, that employees call, a 4-digit number or an 8-digit number, something's wrong with my PC or something wrong with my application, or I can't print, or the security doesn't work, my password needs to be. That's the type of thing we do with multiple companies. So we've grown from 25 people. It hasn't been easy. It's been 10 years. It's truly been 2 steps up and 1 step back. The entire way, we went out 400 people. We've gone from building the revenue to you can just do the math. So, when we update my background now, it'll probably be 15 times. We've grown at 1,500%. And again, that's without acquisition. And I had a lot of acquisition in my background. One thing I got into, starting in Texas, at the end of my Texas career, and throughout Colorado, I've made 25 acquisitions on behalf of 3 different public companies. Yeah, I got efficient. I don't know about good. Many of them were good. Only one
So let's start a little. Let's talk about growing from bootstrap, from 2 to 5 people starting a company together, and that first step of growing.
I don't like that stage. I mean, for me, it's impossible. Now, my partner who's here, he loves that. So he loves being the first one to buy the first PC, the first lease on the copier, the first desk. He loves that. I hate it. Because there's no chips to play. Like going to Vegas and saying, well, you don't have any money. And some of you, I think, are unbelievable, can actually create something. So I don't know that I can create anything. I'm not a creator. I'm the one who can take somebody's idea and hopefully it's somewhat well cooked and then say, let's get a plan to grow that thing.
So how do you do it?
The what part?
Growing it.
Okay. Well, I mean, and I've done a lot of, I hate to say free, but free consultation on that. I mean, I've probably had 15 different angel investments. I think 12 are still active. 3 of them, if you count Claris, and let's say you count Claris or not, and it truly was a $75,000 investment that initially for me, that's all it was. And so it's been certainly. The other one, I'm involved in Alpha Energy. That's a good one. One of the founders of the Alpha Energy. I love that. I've lived my whole life. Love it. Has been a part of, when I was in San Antonio, this one company, they owned 2% of the stores. So I got to be a VP of sales, and senior VP of sales, executive vice president of sales. Kind of left. They had a suite to fill up with Alamo for 41 basketball games. And we had the sideline as well. And then in Denver, I actually worked with someone for a while and that's the next. So 100%. So I mean, I got a little taste of it. So when we moved back to Des Moines, it seemed like, maybe I buy a hole for myself and go to a group forming when I joined that group. Because you're the founder of that. I've got email investments. I have one of my fun investments, my wife thinks, is being part of a Spanish wine import. So, and the margins in wines are just incredible. People realize that. I think they maybe $5 in Spain for something that retail for $20, $90 or something like that. So that's the special. And I'm involved in a nice business up in Ames, it's out in incubator, CARES vaccines.
Yeah.
No, so I've done that twice with part of the family, friends and family around when they first were starting the incubator to get out. Another round of those guys. So that one was really taken on. And then I got 5 10 that won't do it. You kind of learn from those, and you learn from the good ones. But when you talk about the early stage, I mean, if someone said, okay, here's my little deal, here's my company, here's where we're at, I think then you can have a relevant conversation about, hey, how do you grow that? Yeah. Because for most people, I mean, I'm not the inventor, so I have to assume someone has invented or created or developed or gotten a license agreement on something that's somewhat unique. So assuming they have that, then the key is how do I distribute it? And people pay a lot of money to, whether it's a law firm that makes introductions, that on the lobbying side, right? Or the business consultant that has the contacts, or you go to a headhunter to bring them that, sales type manager, person, executive, national account person that has those contacts. Or it's generic, it's somebody that just understands how to build a company on the sales side. But, it all starts, to me, it all starts with the product. But once you have a product, then it's back to, it all starts with sales. Yeah. And if you talk a little bit before, I think the concept of the stool, the four-legged stool, and there's a constant battle as you build a company between finance, do I have the money, do I have the systems, operations, what is the flow of getting X, Y, and Z from wherever, sales, can I sell, how much, when, and then systems. How does the money, how does the operations, how does the information flow back and forth, so I can do all the different stages of running that business. But if you're talking about just that early growth, you got to, I assume you need someone who has a product, then you need to look at how do your competitors sell? And if you don't have any competitors, who is the beneficiary of this product? And am I going, you say, boy, Apple needs this piece of software. So the choice is, you're on your own, and this is a third-party product. You can go to a competitor to Apple who doesn't want Apple to have it, or you can go to cheapest way is obviously the bid sales, right? Because creating your own product that's going to actually have to get into Best Buy or get into Amazon, or boy, that would be a tough deal. So trying to make a big sale to who needs it most or to the biggest competitor, would highly wear out a little bit. But it's one of those three choices, right? Stand alone, big internal user, big competitive user.
Talk about channels. Talk about indirect channels. Because I think a lot of us have had good experiences over the years working in indirect channels. Why should people, you at the early stage, look at indirect channels?
I don't remember U.S. Long Distance was the next one I see TV. We had 1,000 indirect sales people. So again, we had 4 or 5 ways of selling. So what's the difference between indirect selling and a direct sales force? So let's just talk about a direct sales force. You can start with one. I got one person. In theory, you have a branch. It's a concept. I got 5 or 6 people, 5 or 6, 10 people in a branch. They're managed by a sales manager, or branch manager, whatever you want to call it. So that's a direct sales force. Maybe they're local, maybe they're regional, maybe they're national, right? But the indirect means you still need a channel manager, if you will, a sales manager. Supplier to that channel. But that channel manager now can have as many people as one can manage, and if you get to too many successful ones, just get another channel manager that sits right next to that first channel manager. But now we're going to basically a commission-only, non-employee status. That's what the indirect channel means to me. It means a sales force, and obviously the largest are all these direct marketing companies, whatever, that's all. But that's really where you have, I think, a distributorship or something. I'm talking about not something with a distributorship or a franchise. I'm talking about where you have a sales, we would call it a sales agency relationship, a consultant relationship, where I have John, and John becomes sorry for being in the front. That's the proper John. Both of you, they're hired not as an employee, but as they can make introductions or make sales. And they receive, again, everything I've been involved in is a recurring revenue model. Some people call that business as usual. You wake up every month, you didn't make any mistakes monthly, the same revenue. A lot of people sell, a widget that, one widget, and they may reorder it, and they may not. Someone told me in New York City that the batteries are the best thing. They always constantly need more batteries. I sell long distance. I may not even use your battery. Now I don't need a new battery that long distance goes to be regenerated every month. But John or Don are going to, basically be, have an agreement that they're going to market to their friends, family, whoever. And they're going to get, on every one that becomes a sale, they're going to get 5% of the collected revenue every month. And you could say 3 years, you could say 5 years, you could say, no company wants to make it perpetuity, but there could be some length of time, typically 3 to 5 years. As long as that customer stays on that current contract, they're going to get that. Now, 5% in that case, then you add the sales manager, and it's still maybe 8 to 10% sales cost on a monthly basis. But that is probably a lower sales cost than just having, a sales manager, branch manager, 6 or 7 people in offices, wherever they may be, that have a salary, plus travel, plus some kind of commission.
And don't you think it helps when that person, let's say Don over here, has another business that he's in or selling for somebody else as a complementary product? These kinds of relationships work is when they're creating a list of clients that have a relationship and know it and trust it, and there's a complementary need.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, because unless John and Don do so well at this, they're really doing this on the side. And if they're doing it on the side of something where they already have an established list, established contact, it is so powerful. And it's just really extra money. I mean, I'll tell you, in our case, I've got some VPs of some telecom companies. They're not allowed to sell their own companies. They're in the industry selling others for us just on the side. One guy making over $6,000 a month. And he still gets more money than hopefully from his own company. We posted some professional golfers here in town. We used to Denver as well on the pro tournament, and I've got a couple of those guys that have sales agent contracts there. And I met them, I greeted them, I got to know them, and they act like about half the year they're not really doing much other than hitting golf balls in the driving. They're all looking for what they can do when they're 57 or 58 or 59.
Well, let's open it up. Somebody got a question related to growth?
Hypothetically, if you had, you had a budget to hire some people, would you better off getting with a lot of experience in sales or getting two real people that
So if I could restate the question, do you buy the 1 star, do you buy the 2 mid-levels? Is that fair?
That's a great question. Let me ask you a question back. How bad do you need sales?
well, we're going right now by word of mouth, I hope could be doing a lot better. So
But how important is it?
very important.
I go to star. Because they're not going to get anything out of those other guys. They need to be able to show what to do and told what to do after a lot of established business. You can't really scale. I mean, we were able to jump into scale this year some business down in Texas because they already had their public, though very, very small dollars, some share, but they had $18 million revenue at least. So that first 18, 19 months is really tough. The first million is really tough, or whatever the number is. So if you can show that you've got some base, once you have a base, then you can explode it. So I would go with a ton of little guys after you get, get some 1 or 2 stars hired and sell them effectively. So the first one becomes really important.
Yeah.
And that's always, that is so. I mean, we've gone after some experience. So our whole sales staff will do. We don't really give up the number. Something less than $20 million this year. That is myself selling CEO and then 2 salespeople. And then about 12 of these independent sales agents are independent spread out. They all have other businesses and other things going on.
It might help to define a little bit about what makes a star. When I got to know what makes a star, we were selling in the baking industry, the dairy industry, the snacking industry. So what did we hire for salespeople? Former senior execs in baking or in snacking and Rolodex, and those days you call it Rolodex, of everybody in the industry. That was our star.
Yeah, same thing. Somebody that has, if you got the right person, they have the Rolodex. That's what you're paying the salary for. You're paying the salary. You're paying a commission based on what they do for you. You're paying a salary based on what they know. And you have gotten convinced through your references and through your meetings that person can deliver for you like they delivered, in the past. And that's why you're willing to pay a salary. You're not willing to pay a salary. He's making a contractor. They say, no, there's no guarantee for me. There's a chance that they really could deliver for you anyway. 6, 9 months later, you're getting rid of them. And you spend a bunch of money paying for a star that didn't deliver.
So are you saying that they should be willing to do that?
Well, no, I realize that's what it sounds like. No, I mean, you need to make a decision. I mean, yeah, it could be. It depends if they have another job. They don't have another job. They want a salary. They won't commit, 40, 60 hours a week. If they already have something else going on, then you should go to hire them.
Quite a question that I realize may vary by industry, but putting the hat on of the independent contractor who's going to establish a relationship, maybe help the company establish new markets, new placement in the industry perhaps they haven't been in. What do you think is reasonable for the independent contractor to ask for in terms of a commission and really ownership of the account? I've run into some situations where a company may want, happy to have you go establish the account, but then there doesn't seem to be any real ownership of that account after you make that initial sale. So what could happen is that when you establish the account and then the company kicks you out and makes this subsequent sale. So you've talked in your remarks about a 3 to 5 relationship. What sort of, how would you address that?
Well, that totally depends on the industry. Yeah, that totally, like insurance, you have some ownership. First, you're signing agreements with whoever you have your licenses under. And in many of those cases, you have some ownership. In many of those cases, you don't. So that's obviously probably the ultimate sort of commission, environment, selling insurance. In the industry that I'm talking about, telecom, agents don't own the business. They have no ownership. But what you should have is a revenue stream for some term. That's what you should have. And then you're talking about percentage.
You're saying you have ownership. You agree to the company that you have ownership of a revenue stream that you establish for a certain period of time.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So then it has to do with what the commission is. And telecom, it seems to be pretty low because it's reoccurring.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's a 3-year contract, or if it stays on for 3 years at 5%, and let's just say it's $1,000, so it'd be $1,000 would be $50 a month, right? So over 3 years, you're getting $1,800, whatever that number is, $1,800. So you're getting more than, if that was just a one-time widget. If you sold $1,000, you would never get, $1,800 on a one-time sale. And what you hope is that company grows, that business doesn't merge and all that kind of stuff. But it totally depends. Every industry has its own set of what their sales margins are, what they can afford to pay. Every industry.
And that's really critical because you guys on the street. So then when it starts a company over here is the newest person in the market. You don't want to go with a comp plan and a model that nobody else recognizes. If you're going to go out and hire experience in the industry, you better match up with what the industry does. So you have to do your research on going into it in the industry before you get started as a business. Understanding, well, how do they come? Do they pay over time? Those really matter.
Yeah, I probably made some assumption. Whatever your industry is, I'm assuming I think everybody's a telecom person or an internet person. And when I say internet, I don't mean building something. I mean internet access, right? Like the services side. Every industry has their own set of sort of sales costs, sales commission expectations. There's certainly been a lot of no-name, telecom and internet sales companies that have made a lot of money paying commissions, some higher than lower, but sometimes you get what you pay for it. Maybe you get 30% for the first 3 months, so you're getting 90% of 1 month's bill, and then it's over. I mean, there's all sorts of different commission plans in telecom for different contractors.
I think you talk about, I think as a founder, you have to think about what you expect from these people long term, because if you're not captive employees, you don't control them. If the golfer decides to retire to Hawaii next month and he's been bringing a lot of revenue, that's all you don't control that.
Yeah, that's right. And better contract you have no control on. I mean, some things that you have to continue to maintain it or support it. In our case with art, we're really looking for warm introductions in our case because our proposals are custom. But there's certainly tons of other industries that are maybe more standard product offering, or doesn't have a lot of negotiation, and maybe they can be more servicing work. Maybe get paid a higher commission for doing services.
That's something I don't think a lot of people think about anymore. In the old days, we called it bird dog.
Yeah.
But just finding one way, just it'd be like somebody calling James over here. I know an artist community and they all think the product. I'll make a warm introduction, and that's huge for somebody like because it might bring in 40 new clients overnight. There's a lot of value in that. It's something that I think everybody needs to look at because it allows you to control the client. You're not playing an intermediary in the space, but it's not a huge issue.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Other questions? Sorry.
The next one, I have an auto repair shop. Auto repair shop.
Yes.
Right now, we're about 80% at our capacity. And
80% of
our capacity. We're nearing maximum capacity. Very efficient. We develop our procedures. However, our space does not allow us for us to expand where we're currently at. So we're looking at realistically doubling if we're going to go somewhere else. Now, my question to you, we bootstrap this thing. Again, I started 8 years ago. Would you prefer to save up for 5 years and finance it yourself, or would you prefer to go out and get some of those funds in from other sources and get started?
what would you need money for?
We have to build a location.
I don't know your business. Sure. Just saw you for the first time. Is that prime for banks? If you got 8 years of history, you should be able to get a conventional bank loan on it. You might have to put something down.
Right.
Especially if you're selling your current location.
Oh, renting.
You're renting. Okay. Yeah, but I would think a bank would work. Sure.
As far as, is that part of your question was, do I save money first and then wait?
So I'm trying to finance it myself.
Right.
I
mean, one thing to keep in mind right now, he got out of school in 79, I got in 83. Cost of money in 84 was 18 to 22%. Cost of money today is really low. Money is very inexpensive and very plentiful right now. It's something to keep in mind that you may be well suited to borrow today. My question to you is, is the demand out there to fill those calls? Will you be able to bring enough clientele to get over whatever that cost would look like this year? It's just getting past break even and you're okay. Sure. And then you can grow from there. It's really, can you make up the difference in the cost base? Cost base.
And a bank will make you potentially, I don't know, you don't know at all. They can do some financials that are pretty intense to get a bank loan, but it's usually a pretty good process.
It's usually helpful.
Yeah. They won't let you buy that building or fix up that building or do whatever unless you have a pretty good business case. Right. But if it's a good business case, you want to get some competition amongst the local bankers. I think it's local.
Yeah, we got a lot of bankers. My question is, in order to save up the money 50 number of years before we get out there now, would you prefer to finance yourself and not have the investors get into it?
Well, I don't know how many relatives you have involved or could have involved or who your employee base is. I mean, most people wouldn't want to give up very much at an early stage. Most people do not want to give up very much at an early stage. So the longer you wait to sell equity, the more business you'll have down the road, more ownership you'll have down the road. The most expensive equity you'll get rid of is early on. So depends how much you can do. Just one case here real quick. I left on the story. If anybody saw the Jobs movie or read the Jobs book, you just know the episode. I was actually in Silicon Valley during those days. I remember, hearing those stories. They had a party at this restaurant, I was in the same restaurant the next day, the day before, but they sold really what was 1/3 of Apple for $1 million early on. So, I mean, but who knew? So they thought that was a great deal. They actually remember they thought they got the part of that deal. So I don't know what you would say, but it just depends. I don't know your business, don't know your finances. I don't know if you can really. Maybe there's a savings between what the mortgage is going to be versus what the rent is. So bankers are going to love that.
One of the things I would say to think about, and I need to think about, is whether you're using money out of your own pocket, or your parents' pocket, or your uncle's pocket, whoever it is, or the bank's, or someone else, you should treat it like it came from someone you're paying back, so they can understand the cost of capital. Whether it's your own money or not, if you've got to have money of your own to put in the deal, that half money could be making you money somewhere else, and you need to think about its value inside your business versus out. And what I'm trying to say is, understand that whether you're paying yourself interest on your own money or not, you should be thinking like you are. Because if your business doesn't make enough money to pay you back what you put into it, it's probably not a great business right now. You're probably not making enough margin for what you're doing. But that's why going through a bank experience is so darn healthy. This is going to make you look at it like a real professionally run business versus you guys that run the businesses out of their pocket. I know some guys in the trades that literally run their business out of their pockets, right? It's a pocket of receipts and a pocket of cash. That's right. That's right.
I have my background doesn't include telecom, so I'm not
Some people would say I'm not either.
Yeah, but I have some exposure to it through sort of workflow. Okay, anyway, my question is about outsourcing. I became aware of a company one recently that a very large call center need that company. I got involved in a consulting situation. And it was mentioned to me that they had taken a contract back from a company that was outsourced to India. They it was obviously it was a collection company, and they were outsourced to India, and the company was not having its customers. So they were bringing the business back out of India because it wasn't working.
Yep.
I was just wondering if this is in your realm, or would you say legal over in India? I don't know. I'm just curious. They
brought back the employees.
No, they brought the calls back because the consumers were not being serviced. I'm just saying, have you any feedback?
That's our model of outsourced to Ireland and India. I mean, we absolutely do India every day. Now it's mainly the Philippines, right? It's much more popular, a little better English, much more expensive than India. But no, we do that every day. And probably a third of our businesses come back from overseas, and all of our big customers may have us for the U.S. and multiple locations overseas. So, like level one, the easiest stuff might be over there on the cheaper products, but we'll get the more expensive products, or people that are complaining about the English or getting ready to cancel, whatever the case may be, we'll get those calls. So no, that's standard operating procedure. Right. Yeah, that's standard.
Old news.
That's just the way it has been for years. This is the gentleman I was going to make sure that he asked the question.
Tell them your slogan a little bit louder so they understand.
Outsource to Iowa, not India.
Yeah, could you?
But this gentleman came just to hear me speak. He's from Marshall. He runs the Marshalltown.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do.
I teach computer network management at Marshalltown Community College. And a lot of my students, once they graduate, they'll go out and work in the call centers, technical support, this type of thing. So, and their company came to Marshalltown. In fact, I talked to them originally as partner when they went to Newton. I said, how come you come to Marshalltown? Well, there's a little conflict. During this spring, they came into Marshalltown. They already had, 89 employees or something?
85.
So anyway, it's a growing company. So
I love it because it's contrary to what's going on. I mean, people look for business models. I see a lot of people come with, I want to do this, go into business, and they tend to follow what's going on. It's like, no, flip it on its head. If everybody's running for it, and they did,
Well, yeah, certainly on the call centers.
find the opportunity to get up to that point where it's going to change.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple concepts there.
Yeah.
Let's just take India, and I've been around the room. Would never want to offend anyone. This is not about ever offending any person or any group or anything like that. But a typical troubleshooting call in our industry, so can't connect to the internet, there's probably some kind of router problem. When we first got in this business 10 years ago, that kind of call was taken 28 to 30 minutes. Or even the setup of a DSL modem or setup of and things have gotten easier, obviously. A lot of them are still set up these days, but that takes 20 to 30 minutes. And the reason people would outsource that to India, the U.S. West of the world, the really big companies, was because they would send a truck, in the old days to set up a DSL modem. And I send a truck, that's called a truck roll, that's like $200. But now if I have even a 30-minute call, and it costs me 35 cents a minute, so a really, really low rate to India, so that's $10. $10, $200. $10, $200. It's a wow. So that's why they got hundreds of thousands of jobs in the telecom industry, virtually overnight in 10, 15 years ago. Why has a lot come back? We'll do that same call in 8 to 10 minutes. And we charge a lot more than 35 cents a minute, maybe 60, 70 cents a minute, double their rate. But all of a sudden on the same price, not lower than India, because the length of the call is about half to two-thirds of all of us. And customer satisfaction rates are in the 90s, not the 50s. First call resolution higher, second call, less repeat calls, and we measure all those statistics. So we compete really well. And when we hear somebody in India, we're excited. In Manila, maybe not quite as much. It's a higher price, but it's a better deal. But we love that. We love that competition.
Yeah, just add on to that. Similar experience where we, our call centers outsourced to India, and companies merged and switched it to in-house. And what we found as far as the field force, everybody else is the product decision level was up. They just the frustration level went down. Again, not to say anything bad, but you gotta look at those opportunity costs and just the overall feeling of both of the company to like you said, have less time on and feel like they're communicating clearly. I think the folks are a lot more productive that had called internally to that for help desk or what have you.
Yeah, 200 versus 10 makes a lot of sense. 200 versus 8, kind of hard to believe. If they look at how much they do it in-house. That's what we were talking about, because we have very few customers. Now, our customers tend to be, we go up with the biggest customers, sure, don't get me wrong, but they are customers who typically in California, northern and southern Colorado, where I live, and still go out on a regular basis and keep contacts up. But in California, especially in Boston or New York City or some of the higher price places that we compete in, so 20 to 50% below the cost to do it in-house. So people are paying, certainly at national scale, we're still 20 to 50%. Now it's not about length of call, because our length of call in theory should be the same, very simple. Now it's just spread about. So CFO beats on his door and says, I want to lower cost. And they have got a couple of choices. They go overseas, they need somebody like us in the States. You can't do it in-house. And if operations says, or customer service manager, sales says, I want higher quality, then people that they've outsourced over here to, say, India or offshore somewhere, and that's definitely come back. And those are the two biggest areas we sell into. It's really the sales guy saying, hey, we need higher quality, or it's the CFO paying on the guys saying, I want lower costs. Otherwise, everything's to stay where it's at, right? Brad?
You talk about that relationship between the product development and the scaling. Do you tend to want to get your product really refined before you go out and try and scale it, or are you actively iterating during the process?
That's the ultimate question, right? You know, if a product's not going to, I don't want to say not work, because, you know, even with my latest iPhone, I'm up to 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, I think I just loaded 7.04. I just read some tech line this morning that they're baiting 7.1, right, for developers. So, I mean, a lot of these things work where there's not going to be high complaints. I think you're ready to scale. I mean, the issue is if the customer service cost or the return, I mean, depending on the product, the customer service cost or the return cost is a risk of the margin, then I'd say wait. But once you think you have it to the point where that's not going to be a cost issue, then I think you're ready to scale.
Yeah, it's a question of how easy it is to recover. If you can recover remotely, electronically, send a new version, and they load themselves in some pre-painted procedures, great. But if it's pull the hardware back and rebuild it, I've been through that kind of effort and sent hundreds of people across the nation to do it. You can bankrupt with hardware. If it's hardware, it's a whole, which actually is based off of the weak, right? They just don't hold themselves in the spot.
With mobile and all the things, software engineers really had a new revolution. All the mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of jack of all trades.
Okay.
I'm one of those guys who blogs
Okay.
on a site where it's an MIT, bunch of wannabe MIT scientists, whatever. I go and I talk every day. And one of the things that came up, a guy came into the room and started talking to everybody about Watson. That one that beat Jeopardy, beat the two best Jeopardy players in history. Well, it's a technology that they took a guy, they brought the studio and won Jeopardy against the two best Jeopardy players in the world, whoever played the game.
Okay.
They're obviously their gambit theory. They're trying to develop the ability for people to talk. And he came into the room and started talking about medical watch. Medical watching is good car. That watch was built on Wikipedia, all the information in Wikipedia, and it beat these other two guys because they, as smart as they were, they couldn't remember everything.
They weren't a dictionary.
They weren't 80,000 volume encyclopedia.
Yeah.
They beat the two best guys. The point what they're trying to build on is like in this medical watch, it's expanded, all medical watch, where you can talk or ask questions. I was just wondering if there's a buzz about this starting to affect telecom and customer service and that.
Well,
That's where the market is headed.
Well, there's a lot of automation. You know, anybody who calls a lot of the big applications that you put in a flight number, or you put in you don't really need to talk to somebody and move to not talking. It's automated, right? I mean, if you can move it to automation, you move it to automation. I believe, and I was actually we did not a blog, we did personally quite 3 years ago, saying we probably had changed from being mainly a tier 1 access call center, making kind of easy, frequently asked questions, to virtually all our business is defined as level 2, which
More
is
complicated.
More complicated.
Right.
And that's less vulnerable to going overseas, because we were never really vulnerable to going overseas. We were getting actually was coming back. But the lowest level, they really call it tier 0 in our world, level 1, level 0, tier 0, which is automation. Anything you can do kind of automated.
You want to do it.
Well, you want a computer to do it. Yeah, you want it to be automated. Yeah, you can do it automated from just a low cost. Forget about my company. From a low cost, you want to do it automated. Right. The next thing you want to do is the lowest skill set you can do pay-wise that doesn't affect your customer service rating. Ultimately, you want to get the customer fixed as quickly as they can for the best total user experience. Right? It's all about user experience at the lowest cost.
Sheldon, we switch up on you and ask a question about, you mentioned you're an angel investor. You've got enough angel investments, you know what you're doing. What do you look for? Especially if it's a group that doesn't have 5 of you on board starting their 5th company.
Yeah.
That's the first person out. You don't know me, I've never run with a company before, and you're looking at, you see enough to be interested in looking at. What are you looking for?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know if it's just a one person one. I mean, one person one's pretty tough to get excited about.
Yeah.
But the biggest key, whether it's 1 or 5, is are they committed? Have they dropped everything else they're doing, and are they committed to this product? Because if it's just something they're going to do on the side, I don't want to invest. I mean, I need to know that this person, or let's say it's 3 people, or 1 person, 2 people, 1 to 5, whatever, that they have dropped everything else they're doing. And this is what they're committed to. Because if they're looking for me to put in, real dollars, then I want to make sure they're putting in real time. That's what they're bringing. They're bringing their idea, they're bringing their concept, they're bringing their product, they're bringing what they've developed. And they deserve to have a step up in valuation. I mean, they deserve to have a step up of whatever. I'm not the inventor, but the other side, I should be able to get the commitment that they're committed full time. They're all. So that's the first thing you're looking for. Once you have that, then you're trying to figure if they really have a product that fits a need or fits a void or can make a mark, make a difference. That, either aid some problem that's needs or if it's something more entertainment that just that fulfills a need in the marketplace. I mean, what are the chances it's going to really be accepted? The big VCs, the big ones, I don't really have any, certainly in this town, but certainly in Denver, you do in the bigger markets. They want $1 billion ideas. Yeah. They're not going to invest in a $1 billion idea. And then certainly the smaller ones are looking for something that's just going to be pretty darn successful. Now they don't define it as well. Typical angels looking for something that they still think they're going to obviously get paid back their money. In theory, at a higher rate than they're going to get in other investments. And still, in money that you could put somewhere else.
All right. Well, let's start. Any other questions? Any other questions from the audience? Well, with that, I'll thank you very much.